Have you ever found yourself looking for what could be a rewind button in your life? Something that would allow you, say, to go back just a couple steps to get things right? Well, I experienced something recently that brought this idea back to mind. And it reminded me of previous experiences where I learned that sometimes there's nothing wrong with busting a U-turn and going right back. It was something simple, really. I needed to pick up groceries, and I realized that as I was driving down the road, I had missed my turn. Granted, if I continued down the road, I would still get there, but it would take me much longer. So I had a decision to make. Do I turn around and head back in the opposite direction, or do I continue going forward? I decided I'm gonna turn around. I didn't want to have to go this extra route. Several years ago, I found myself out of work. I had to move back in with my folks. At the time, I had been working overseas when a group of us was let go. And for me, that meant coming back to the States and coming back to my parents' house. Now, my parents were very welcoming. My dad told me that there's always room for me at home. Now, that's great to hear. However, as an adult, I felt personally that I should have been further in life. I felt that I shouldn't be in the place where I have to ask my dad for pocket money just to get some basic toiletries. But that's where I was at the time. Now, I spoke to a friend who lived in another state, and she informed me that there were opportunities in her area. I took the chance and applied for one of them, to which I was offered the position. I thought, this is great. This is my make or break moment, right? I packed my bags and I moved on out, only to realize after a while that it wasn't quite going as I had expected. Now, I had a decision to make. Do I stay, stick it out, and see what comes of it, or do I come back home? I kid you not. I found myself on my knees praying to God that He sent me back home. And He did. I had the opportunity to come back home and start all over again. But He had opened up some doors for me. He had put me in a position where, honestly, I didn't know there was an opening, and they had not even advertised yet. Now, that's another story for another day. But I had the opportunity, as I said, to bust that U-turn, to make it, to go back, and to try again. And I kid you not, this time I saw it differently. Before, I felt that I was in a prison of sorts, but this time I realized that I was in a safe place. God had sent me back to a place where I could relax and get it right. I could start over again. And that's how I chose to see this opportunity. Now, I know in the beginning, when you first find yourself in a situation similar to mine, it does not feel good. Nothing about it seems positive, and it feels like you've let your own self down. But I just want to remind you that it's always an opportunity to recharge. If there's one thing I know with many of my college friends who ended up having to go back home after school, is that they were able to find many opportunities that they had not expected. Now, life did not go as we expected ourselves, because we had planned to, once we graduate, we'll find a job, we'll just move on up in life and become big in our fields, only to realize that it might have taken going back a few steps before being able to move forward. So I invite you to pause and look for the blessing in your situation. And I promise you that you'll probably find more than one. For me, though I didn't see it at the time, the blessing of a roof over my head. Had I not had my parents available, where would I have gone when I came back to the States? Because I was on a work visa in this other country, I couldn't stay past the time where I was told to go home. So what would I have done? But I was blessed with parents who were willing to open up their doors to let me back in. And let's not forget the blessing of parents who were more than willing to financially support me until I got back on my feet. Now this list could go on and on. I could tell you about how supportive they were when I shared my dream of becoming an entrepreneur, and others. So don't allow yourself to feel demoralized over having to start over again. Don't allow yourself to look left or right at what others may be doing that you wish you yourself could be doing. Because I could tell you a few things myself where I felt like, how is it that I'm still stuck at this level? Why have I not moved forward? But I've learned that you just don't know the stories of others. You don't know what they had to deal with before making it to where they are. So take the time to focus on you and allow yourself to learn, to grow, to build where you are. But I won't pretend that I didn't have moments of self-doubt or moments where I thought, why am I stuck at this point? Why have I not moved forward? Because I was looking at friends who had gone on to become successful in life. I had friends who were married with children, on their second homes, what have you. And here I was, still in the position where I was trying to get it right. Now I can tell you that I don't have all the answers, and there are some things I'm still trying to figure out, but I know that I have come much further than where I was at the time. And as I love to say, I have learned so much along the way. There are new people that I have met, new experiences that I've had, things that I have put in my book of life that I do not regret at all. I wouldn't take back my experience overseas for anything. I wouldn't take back the experience of living at home. One thing I said to myself was, I don't know how much time I have left with my grandmother. My maternal grandmother is still with me. This year she celebrated her 86th birthday. And I thought, there was a perfect timing. It was a perfect timing to have me in close proximity to her, to spend what was, I believe, 3 to 4 years in my parents' home with my mother, my father, and my grandmother. I have since graduated with another degree, met my husband, moved into our new place, and who knows what else is in store for me. So I'm inviting you to evaluate your life. Take a look at what it will take. Do you need to take a few steps backwards? Do you need to make a U-turn? Do and be willing to do whatever it takes to put you in a better place. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in. I appreciate being able to share my stories with you. Like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it encouraging. And tune in again next week.